Well, hello. Do you ever end up with a stack of individual bars of soap or soap scraps and just not sure what to do with them? Well, today we're going to look at how to recycle soap bars into easy gift ideas. And this is a scenario that almost every soap maker ends up with at some point, where they've been trying different recipes out, or you've got end cuts of your soap, thin, skinnier pieces, and you're like, well, what can I do with them? I've got a few bits and pieces here, and don't worry if you don't have all of these things. You really can just work with what you've got at home. The first thing I'm going to do is cut these down into some smaller pieces. But I'm also going to embellish them up a little bit. And I thought it would be really nice to turn these into soap kebabs. So we're going to be using these wooden skewers. Any type of wooden skewers will do. If you don't have wooden skewers, I've actually done this many times with chopsticks, so that's another idea for you. And I do have a few embellishments. These are like little candle rings. You've probably got some of these stuck in a drawer or a cupboard or an attic somewhere collecting dust. But you know what? They can be turned into some really fun things as embellishments. So I've got some of these. I've got two different ones. And I've also just got some paper flowers. And these are just from a craft store. They're really inexpensive. The kind of thing that you get in the dollar stores. And I've got a little bit of ribbon and a glue stick. So the first thing I want to do is just to cut these soap bars down a little bit. So I could make these into 4, but actually I want to cut a larger square. So it's more like a shower bar or a nice guest bar, really. Now, some of these soaps will be quite old. And if that's exactly the same for you and they're looking a little bit tired, don't worry, it really doesn't matter. You can still utilise them. I'm not going to be precious and cut them exact either, so don't worry too much about that. But I do want them to be a similar size. They don't have to be exact, as I said, but just similar. Now, the older the bar, the more crumbly they'll be. And that means that some of the edges will break off. That doesn't matter either. Sometimes when I do these, I deliberately make them all different sizes and even different shapes. And I like to have a few different colours. If you've only got one colour, that's absolutely fine too. And I know that if you're like me, you've probably got lots and lots of different soaps that you've been making up and testing out different recipes. And it's nice to be able to utilise some of them. And certainly when it comes to the end pieces, there's always a stack of end pieces left over. Okay, so I've got all of these chopped up pieces. And now what I need to do is to kind of make them into a stack. There's no right or wrong. It's really about what you think looks nice. And then I'm going to just stagger some of these smaller pieces in between. Oh, that looks great. So these particular wooden skewers are really good because they've got this larger part at the top. And I thought that would make it a lot easier for embellishing these particular soap kebabs. So I'm going to just start threading these through. And even though these soaps are pretty old, some of these are months and months old, I can still literally just push these through. So literally just push it straight through the skewer and all of the way up to the top. And just do that on all of them. It doesn't matter if they're not exactly in the same place. It actually adds to it a little bit. So you see where it's broken off a little bit on the edge there? It doesn't matter one bit. Just thread your pieces through, just approximately in the centre. There we go. And there we've got our kebab. Now we can make these, like I said, all different sizes, but we're going with just one size. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with the other one. Just thread it through. Now it doesn't matter if you haven't got all of these in squares. We've done these with hearts, we've done them with all sorts of different shapes and sometimes even just really rustic cut-offs, and they still look fabulous. And as well as soap, we sometimes thread other things in between these. So we regularly put like orange slices. And so what I want to do now is to just decorate this top section. And the first thing I've got is some ribbon. These are really inexpensive, especially at Christmas time. You can buy reels of these ribbons for next to nothing. Just create a bow. So I'm going to actually pop a bow onto the top there, and then I'm going to embellish around it. So let's just cut our tails a little bit. That one as well. Just so that we've got a nice bow to go there. And I need to create another one. You always need more ribbon than you think, and then I like to pull out the tails a little bit so they're much smaller, and then tighten them and then reduce them down again. I'm sure there's a ton of different ways that you can do it, but that's just the way that I've always done it. There we go. So now we've got 2 bows that will pop at the top of them, and then I want to be able to embellish them further, and for that I'm going to use these little pine cones. We've got this whole ring of them, so I've got 2 already cut off, and literally just a pair of scissors and they just pop off. They're super easy. There's so many different things that you can have on these little wreaths or the little candle rings, and they just make great decorations. This is where I like to kind of have a look and see how it's going to look. If I pop my bow there, but then it's a case of what else do I want to put with it? Go with what's right for you. There's no right or wrong here. What do I want? Do I want to put some berries on? I could put some berries on there. And that would look really, really nice. It would contrast very, very well. And then I could put a couple of the little pine cones in as well. Or I've got these flowers. And actually these flowers are in quite a few colours. I could do it in the red, or I could do it in the green. Now you see, this is where I'm not sure which I should do. Should I do the red or should I do the green?
I prefer the green one.
Okay, green it is. That is what we're going to go with today. But let me know in the comments, which would you have gone with? Would you have gone with the red berries in the centre or the green flower? And that's the beauty of this, is that you're going to be able to customise these to what you like. There is no right or wrong. So I've got my glue gun going. It's melting all over the place, and that's why I've got it on this mat. And now we're just going to start building it up a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the bow on. And we'll put that on first. A nice dab of glue on the back. And then just position it where you want it to be. It'll only take a few seconds for that to set. And then next I need to think about probably the pine cones, because if I've got little bits from the pine cones sticking out, I can cover them up with my flower at the end. So always kind of layer your bits and pieces as you go. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue onto the back of the pine cone and just position that carefully where I want that to be. And then I'll do the same on the other one. I think I'll just have that one coming down the ribbon a little bit. And then let's take our little paper flower. If you've got something like a Sizzix or a Silhouette or a Pazzle or any of those kind of craft machines, you could even make these yourself. And then let's do the second one. I think that's already looking absolutely gorgeous. Back with our pine cone, put a dab of glue and position that one there. Another dab of glue on this one. And then we'll finish off with our flower in the middle. Nice big dab of glue on that one, because we need to squash that down a little bit to cover everything up. Just hold it in place. They are looking really, really beautiful. I think that is gorgeous. And you can see how simple that is to do, but how effective it is as well. Really, really lovely, and a great way to utilise a lot of your leftover soap pieces. These do look absolutely beautiful hanging up too. So you could actually put a little hanging ribbon at the top, and then that can be hung in the bathroom or even in a wardrobe. So I hope that you have enjoyed watching me recycle some leftover soaps and turn them into something really, really pretty. Do let me know in the comments if you've ever thought about recycling your soaps into something like soap kebabs. It really doesn't take a lot of time and it's huge fun. If you have enjoyed spending time with us today, why not think about clicking that subscribe button, ding the bell, and you'll get notified every time that we add a new video. I always love seeing you with us and I can't wait to see you again really, really soon. Bye bye for now.